Welcome everyone to a special episode of Paranormal Gateway Paratalk. I'm the host Scott Wise and I'm light at Purity hosting an exclusive online book release party with incredible author, traveler, and cemetery explorer Tui Snider for a brand new book around the world in 80 graves, travel, tombstones, and transformation. Tui Snider is an author, speaker, globe-trotting cemetery explorer who brings historic graveyards to life through books, talks, and international tours. Her works have been featured on Coast to Coast AM, CBS, ABC, among other media outlets. She writes a monthly symbolism column for American Cemetery and Cremation magazine and is known for uncovering histories, unusual legends, and the meanings behind tombstone art iconography. With over a dozen books, including Understanding Salary Symbols and 600 Texas, she blends heartfelt storytelling, research, and touch of humor. Also has a newsletter at TuiSnider.com. She gives her new subscribers a free 7 guide for signing up. But tonight, Tui takes us on a fascinating journey across the globe, uncovering burial, tradition, cemetery secrets, and the power stories behind graves both famous and forgotten. We dive deep into her adventures, explore some of the world's most unique resting places, and learn how these journeys transform the way we see life and death. And because of celebration, we have a giveaway good tonight. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show. Guess you want to. There she is.
Well, hello there, Scott. How are you?
Well, I'm doing better.
Was the music at the beginning yours that you composed?
No, I had one. I kept getting copyright strikes when I use mine. So
You get copyright strikes when you use your own music?
yeah,
That happened to me once. I used something that I had composed for a book trailer, and the next thing I knew, YouTube was saying, "Oh, you violated Tui Snyder's copyright." I'm like, "I am Tui Snyder. Give me a
yeah.
break."
I
Oh,
I got
that's so
so
funny.
got tired of fighting all the time. But I actually got one that they allowed.
Oh,
So I tried to find one that was pain in the butt though.
yeah, that's so silly. Gosh, because I really enjoy your music a lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
thanks.
anyway, yeah, Scott, you're a very creative person, and I think it's pretty cool that you've been doing this show for almost 5 years.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. I'm sorry to sit in October.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all the time, but keep me out of trouble.
Yes, it is. It's true. Keeps you off the streets, right? Creativity doesn't. We're kind of weird.
Yeah,
We're weird folk,
yeah.
but it's good to do.
I got a walker. That be going out the streets.
Yeah, that would be.
See, you can't catch me. Yeah.
Yeah, see if you can get me. Woo! Oh my goodness. Hmm.
So you want to start by one of the first places you started there? I had different pictures. I'm not sure where to start with, but
Yeah, sure. Here, I'll just show my book real quick. Do we have anyone in the chat yet? I don't know where to look on the screen. Can we see anybody?
also, not yet. I can do a pop out chat. I think.
What's that now? Will I be able to chat with people too? Oh, I see a
Yeah.
little thing there. It says messages from audience display here.
See about
Oh,
doing it. Yeah.
all right. Well, hopefully people will show up here soon. So this is my book, Around the World in 80 Graves.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, hi, Kenneth. Kenneth is here. And I'm wearing the
Yay.
button that he gave me, I am a morning person. Great to see you,
Hi,
Ken,
Chris.
Colorado. Yeah, his wife actually is coming to Italy on the Italy tour that I'm
Oh,
doing
all
this
right.
fall. I finally get to meet her in person. I
Is
wish
she,
Ken,
is
Ken was
she,
here. Hmm?
is she a vegan man at home?
Yeah, I haven't met them before, so in person it'll be. I've had
Yeah.
some tea parties with them on Zoom. But anyway, so here's the book, Around the
Yeah.
World in 80 Graves, and I was gonna just do a little 10-page guide to go along with it, but instead I ended up making this book, which is the reading companion, because there are some cemeteries that have book clubs
Oh,
and
okay.
book clubs in general. So I had a few readers say, are you going to make a book club guide? And I thought, sure. And I started making it. And the next thing I knew, it ended up being 134 pages because I had so much fun sharing. Like I tell the story about this angel because this is
Mhm.
actually people don't realize that this is the same angel on both books, just from a different angle, which I think is kind of cool. She's really interesting. This is the angel. She's in Italy, in Genoa, Italy, and
Which
yeah,
which was the one that had butterfly wings?
butterflies.
Do you have one that had butterfly wings on one?
Oh yeah, I did. Did I send you a picture of that? That was
Well, in a book I
I,
saw.
yeah, that
In the
was
book.
in Australia. I think that was in I forget whether Adelaide. I think it was
The
in Adelaide,
Valiant.
South of Australia. And let's see if I
That's
don't know if I
right.
can find the picture. I should have sent the picture of that. I just in the paperback the pictures are black and white, but but in the ebook they're color. Hi, I see Gisela made it
Yeah.
from Lisbon. Hello, Gisela.
It's
Woohoo.
more too.
Great to
I
see.
like the black art.
Yeah, he knew who you were because he read the book. Woohoo, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned both of you guys in the book, Kenneth and Gisela.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for coming. Wow, it must be late over there in Lisbon. What is it? It must be midnight for Gisela. You win for staying up the latest, I think. Oh, that is so sweet. Wonderful. Thank you guys for coming. I'll show you so I've got a little grand prize thing that we're going to do tonight. So I've got some fun things. Like I got these I made some stickers, of the book. This is kind of cool. This is a deck of cards. When you buy, I needed to buy these for my party on Friday. I wish you all could come to the in-person party,
Mhm.
but I thought having an online party would be fun. So I made these. These are the name tags for
Mhm.
people to wear at the party. I thought they'd be kind of cute, so I'll send those. Um, and I got this and just some fun stuff. I made a when you buy. Have you ever bought anything off of Vistaprint
Yeah,
before?
that's where I get my stuff. Got
Yeah.
this.
You know how it is when you try
Right
to
there.
check out, they're like, oh, you could get, a
Oh
keychain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I thought, well, I should get a few for prizes. So I thought, okay, that's why I got the, card deck. I mean, who has a card deck with their book cover on it? I thought that was kind of fun. So it's just like maybe I'll meet a magician somewhere and they can do card tricks with it.
Yeah.
They came out pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's pretty, and it's a decent, nice card deck. So I thought, well, that'll be a fun prize. So I hope we get a few more people coming to the party here.
Yeah.
Um, there, I'm just playing with my stuff now. So yeah, I'm very excited. I got a few little gifts here that I can give away. That's the grand prize. And one thing I really like about in the reader guide is that I made. I don't know if you looked at the reader guide yet. Oh, I made Petra in
Yeah.
Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah.
I made a little thing explaining all the symbols that you
Oh,
can
okay.
see
Yeah. Mhm.
because it's quite interesting. It's the ancient Nabateans, the ancient, the Hellenistic Greece, the ancient Egyptian.
Mhm.
Then there's, who else? There's so many different layers of symbolism here Greek, Roman, and even some of the symbols that carry forward that we still use in Victoria, you still see in Victorian symbols are
Mhm.
here on this thing, and it's an ancient tomb, so it's so cool to see. Um, yeah, so I was very excited about that. Um, yeah, so we got two people here. Come on, where's the party? We need to get a few more people coming. Maybe I should try and tell people on Amazon. I had some people tell me they were going to try and make it on Facebook. You know what I can do to try and get a few more people to come.
Here's the picture. There she is.
Did we get somebody? Oh yeah, yeah. So this was in. Oh, of course, Kenneth. I will just send one signed to you. You know it.
Sorry.
Yes, if I would sign
Sorry
this
for
one.
that.
Of
There.
course. I
Yeah.
plan to send. I'm bringing
Yeah.
them over for Patty. Both copies of both. book. But yeah, definitely we'll sign them, Kenneth. Yeah, you know it. um,
Here's
wonderful.
more. Oh, back to more safe. Okay.
Yeah, Mort Safe. It's a great name.
Yeah,
Huh? You
that's
know
fine.
it. You know I will. You know I will, Kenneth. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
I think we have more people of this.
Hmm?
Let's
Yeah,
recap.
but oh, well, I can explain more about the pictures if you want. Like
Yeah.
that one you had, that was in Penang, Malaysia. This one,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So that was in a cemetery in Penang, Georgetown, Penang section of Malaysia. It's an
Mm-hmm.
island off the coast of Malaysia, and that right by those mausoleums, the one that you could kind of see. Oh well, there's in the middle there that has on the bottom that sarcophagus has little dragon faces. They're like Chinese dragons. It is so cool. It's so unusual. And I could not tell what they were at first. It wasn't until I was walking back and I suddenly realized I was seeing the same kind of faces on some of the Chinese New Year posters there. And I was like, oh, wow. So that was kind of cool. And there, you can kind of tell if you look at my hat there, I've got a hat, a flower on the hat. That's a frangipani blossom, and
Oh,
it
okay.
smelled so good. And I tucked him in my hat, and it was so hot that my hat, like I sweat, my head sweated right through the hat. It was crazy, but yeah, it was really beautiful and that a really fun cemetery to visit. Very pretty. It's well kept, and there were a lot of flowers. I've been there a couple times. It's really nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
Of
That's
course, I
cool.
think tell the stories probably better in the book because I sit there and I work on them. Yeah, if you if Ken or Gisela have any questions, go ahead and fire away. It seems like it's just you two. My goodness. Hope we get a few more folk. Oop, who's that? Someone just
We'll start sharing.
little
We'll talk amongst
yeah.
ourselves. Try to share out and everything and stuff.
Here I'll mention again. It's on now. Party's going. Party's on now. The party is on now. Come on over and say hi. There. I
Okay,
just
yeah.
shared it.
All right.
I'll share it into my cemetery symbols group here to a group. Da, da, da. Maybe I'll sit here. I'll just go. Party's on. Party is on now. On over and win a book. And I'll share one more place. Maybe we'll get some people. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I just share out to a group.
huh? Oh, two Sniders. Oh, cemetery news. Come on down. It's on now. Come on over. All right, there.
I give it a shout out to one of my big groups, so we should get some. And
Yeah, hopefully we get some folk. I know. So we've got Lisbon and Colorado in the house, so that's pretty amazing.
oh
It's
yeah,
amazing amount of the people that you can meet around the world who are interested in this same topic of historic cemeteries. It's pretty cool, I would say.
I have guests coming on a couple of weeks from Thailand.
From Thailand?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow, that's great.
yeah. Hey, it's a 2 hour difference there, so
2 hours?
12.
Oh, 12. I was gonna say, yeah, because like
No,
I think
no, 13 is something,
we're
guys.
about yeah, we're about half a globe away because I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Philippines are pretty much 12 hours away. When we travel and we want to call our family like for Thanksgiving, sometimes it's really confusing if we have passed the international date line
Mm-hmm.
because I realize, oh yeah, I want to call my family on Thursday for Thanksgiving, but then I realize, no, I have to call them Friday to actually call them Thursday because I'm a day ahead. It gets really confusing. Like I have to sit there with a piece of paper and kind of draw it out and figure it out. I've come really close to calling my family on the wrong day before. I haven't done it though. To my credit, I usually get it figured out, but it's a little bit of a challenge. Oh, pardon me, I'm eating a potato chip. That's rude. Here, everybody, want a chip? I'm offering them all to you. Larry was worried I was going to get hungry, so he brought me some food to sustain me through the party here.
Sure, there you
Yep. Oh my.
go. All right. Hopefully there was more people in.
Yeah, you can show another picture
Just
if you want.
shout out. Hopefully you'll.
Good. Yeah, hopefully we get a few more people. You can always, I'll just keep chatting away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's in Genoa, Italy. And you can tell it was very hot there as well. I was sweating. And there were a lot of mosquitoes there too.
Yeah,
But
I hate mosquitoes.
But I saw this really, the first time I was there were no mosquitoes, but we came a different time of day. And I just love this particular skull. There were a lot of cool skulls in Genoa. That's one of my most favorite cemeteries in the world. And I'm not alone in that. It was also a favorite of Mark Twain. He wrote about it, said it was marvelous. Also, Ernest Hemingway called it one of the wonders of the world.
Oh,
People used to, yeah, it's a really amazing because there's the sculptures there are so realistic. I have come around the corner and there's one particular one particular sculpture, and it's a life-size sculpture of a monk. And when I come around the corner, both times I've visited Genoa at that cemetery, I have thought it was a real person for a split second. So I've been like, excuse me. I go, me scusi. And then I realize, oh, wait, it gets me. And the second time I'm like, oh my gosh, she got me again. Because some of them are just incredibly realistic. I have so many. I took so many photos, and I would love to spend a month there and just go back again and again to really, really explore that wonderful cemetery. Well, do you have anybody else yet? Let me look. See if anyone said anything here. Let's see anything. Oh, that's, yeah. Come on, people.
I getting to my apparently it's live. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's weird. Last time I was on your show, we had quite a few people show up. I don't know if it's the time of day. Maybe people are. It was a little later, I think, last time I was on your show.
what maybe it was later. I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was like 7 o'clock or something. But I don't know. It's weird. Or maybe it's just the time of year. People are out and about. But yeah, gosh, I had people tell me they were going to be here who aren't here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I give them a hard time. I won't name them by name, but I can think of them. Oh well.
Oh well.
Well, you can show another picture if you want.
I can just jump in the next one here.
Sure.
Got this next one line. I'm not sure the order's then, but
Oh yeah. Oh, this is really neat. This is over in Dallas, Oakland Cemetery. I don't know if they do anything like this up where you are, but down here in the South, because we're close to Mexico, a lot of Hispanics, Hispanic influence, and we have some wonderful Dia de los Muertos events. And this was one over in Dallas at Oakland Cemetery. And I was standing in front of, this was the community altar. Anybody could put something up here for a loved one. Other people had some altars that they'd made. Of course, marigolds are an important part of Dia de los Muertos. The scent is said to help bring the souls back to earth for the day. It was really fun. They also had really great food. They had dancing, not for us to do, but folkloric dancing. This dance group did an incredible performance there. Really special day. I was so glad we went. I think I'll be in Italy this year when it happens, unfortunately. So maybe next year.
I love your dress.
Isn't that a fun dress? It was just perfect, and I matched the. It's my
Yeah,
Dia de los Muertos dress. I'm like, hey, this just matches everything perfectly. I
yeah.
tend to buy a new dress every time I finish a book, and a dress to go that I can wear when I give talks at the library or whatever.
Mhm.
So it stays pretty warm down here usually during the fall. So
Oh, I got your shoes. I like your
aren't
shoes
they
too.
cute? They're great for walking through a
Yeah.
cemetery too, because they're kind of they get you up off the ground a little bit, and I don't get like ant bites on my feet. They keep you up off, but they're lightweight enough. They're really perfect cemetery exploring shoes. I really like them. They're great. And they're comfortable.
No, that.
Oh yeah, good old New Orleans. I'm barefoot there. Oh, I think shortly after that I is when I nearly stepped on a black widow spider while I was trying to get a photo.
Ah,
That was scary. I looked down and I realized my barefoot, I was kind of leaning over to try and get a photo, and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm standing right by what's that thing down there? And I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a black widow. So that was yeah, that made me very nervous.
you got is that heart or just flower petals?
It's like yeah, kind of like zombies and roses. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of cute, like little. You don't notice that there's zombie faces on it at first from a distance, but when you get up close, it's like, hey, wait, what am I looking at? Yeah, it's kind of fun. And that little
yeah.
parasol that I've got is white on the inside, and sometimes I use it to help reflect light onto tombstones so that
Mhm.
I can get better pictures of the tombstones. So that's a helpful thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, good idea.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, well, because I'll be at
Oh
Oregon.
yeah, there's my
Right?
that's just over in Fort Worth. I got
Yeah,
the
okay.
perfect,
Okay.
perfect tombstones for a headshot. I use that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
This is in Waverley Cemetery. This is in Australia. It's in Sydney, Australia. It's really, really beautiful. It's by the sea. So a lot of these graves are looking right over the ocean, and there were so many, and there's so many interesting symbols. I kept running around, oh, pardon me, hoping to see one, pardon me, where someone had been bitten by a shark or something, but I never found one that said that. There was a
Yes,
sign though. We were a lizard watching sign. We had to keep it. They weren't venomous lizards. They were just these little lizards that were supposed to be all around, but we didn't see any of them.
yeah. I like the iron gate around it.
Yeah, the wrought iron
Real.
gate. Isn't that pretty? That one is really elaborate. It's so nice. Just
Yeah.
so many Victorian and Edwardian era tombstones there. And really great symbols. And I don't know anybody in Sydney, but I would love to meet a local and go through a cemetery with them there. But you do see some interesting creatures in Australia. Like I've been walking through a cemetery, and I've had a flock of cockatoos flying over. Birds that I don't expect to see like out in the wild. It was really cool. So very nice.
You show your hat on when we go over.
Yeah, I had a hat usually because of the sun, and I like hats. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
wearing one right now just because I like them.
Yeah. There's one
Oh yeah, there we are in where I am.
street
Yep,
after.
a very very hot day, and it was my first
Yeah.
time in a tuk-tuk, which was I was scared of, and it ended up being really fun actually as we zipped all over through traffic. Our tuk-tuk driver Peter was just so good at maneuvering around. I ended up feeling very comfortable with him and not scared. So it was pretty fun. And I don't know what the story was about all these crosses that look the same. I don't know, if they all died at the same time or what. He had pretty good English, but he wasn't a cemetery expert. he did help us find the grave for Arthur C. Clarke, who was buried there. So that was really good.
Yeah.
And but while I was walking around, you can see I just have sandals on, and we got off the beaten path and we're walking through some overgrown stuff. I felt something kind of crunchy under my feet, and I looked down and I realized it was a bit of snake skin I was standing on. And then later I learned that there's a lot of venomous snakes there that you have to be really careful if you walk off a path, which at the time I didn't know. So I was just wandering around. So yeah, I didn't get bitten. Thank goodness. You got to be careful.
Yeah. They're really good with it, I'm sure. I'm sure they're more venomous over there.
Oh yeah,
here.
there's some really venomous ones over there. Whew. Yeah, but I was reading some horror stories about people who wandered off the path later on. I was like, she's not in that cemetery, but just in general, they were saying you should stick to the paths. Don't go wandering through underbrush.
I'm saying burn this path.
I know. I was,
Yeah, depending on the foliage and stuff, they get good pictures. Like 100 yards away, they're good camera.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you got a good camera.
Well,
so.
no, I just use I use my cell phone all the time, which I use that for magazine photos as an iPhone. And I just really careful. I get up close at the lighting. No, it's what I use primarily, which is kind of good because it doesn't draw attention to itself. I think if I walked in with a lot of camera gear, people might wanting, be asking me more questions and stuff. I'm a little more stealthy with just my iPhone. And I am able to use those. I've had several of my photos have been on the cover of American Cemetery and Cremation. So and I just the book that I just finished yesterday, it's about 160 cemetery photos. It's a photo book. The publisher, they have a really good printer. I've seen their work, so I sent them. So I'm really excited. It'll be a photo book next year. It'll be coming out in April. It'll be
a comfy book.
Kind of. It's not that. It's just a little bit bigger than this book. A little bit bigger. It'll be about this size. But really nice color. Really nice color photos.
Give me a second here. I don't think so. Gotta get us back to where you see it again.
What's that now?
There you go. Sorry
about that.
No.
I see. Again. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was just showing that it'll be a little bigger, maybe a half inch bigger. I think this is 5.5 by 8.5, and they're going to do a 6 by 9. Mm-hmm. It'll be about, 100 pages long, but it'll be really nice color photos because they've got a good printer. The publisher does. So that'll be very exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
That's cool. Yeah. That'll be fun. So when do you think that'll come out then?
April. That should come out in April of next year, which is good because I'm going to be traveling during the winter, and then we get home in April. Yeah. So it'll be just in time to promote the book, and hopefully it does all right.
So are you going traveling?
Well, on Halloween, that's when it starts because last year I got hired to be a cemetery symbolism guide for an art tour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we did it in September last year. But this year she hired me again. Only this time she wants me to do the tour from Halloween until November 9th. And so we'll be in Rome, which is kind of cool because it's a Jubilee year. We got a new Pope. The Pope is American. Interesting. But we're gonna there's All Saints and All Souls Day and Halloween, and we will be visiting cool burial grounds and things during that time. So this right now, what I'm going to be doing is doing a lot of research so that for the people who come along on that trip, I'll have good information to give them sheets and things, worksheets or information about what we'll be seeing. And then I'm just there to explain what the different symbols mean. It's going to be so fun. We have a private driver who takes us around. We have a private chef. And the woman who organizes everything, Lisa, she, figures out all the logistics of getting everywhere. So I'm really excited. So then after that, Larry and I will basically go around the world again. And then we get back in April.
Wow, I'm so jealous.
More traveling.
Yeah, I can you get like a hockey bag and put me in it?
You can sneak along. Yeah, yeah, you stow
Yeah.
along. It seems like I wonder if they ever get stowaways. And we do cruise ships because you can travel the same
Oh,
amount of money could take you
um,
on a cruise ship for 2 months that, if you just want to travel by land for 2 weeks, basically. I mean, you
oh
could go a
yeah,
lot, your money
yeah.
goes a lot farther if you get on a cruise ship.
Yeah. See, that's probably me and my friend had an apartment together, and we used to go to Ocean City every year, and we figured out we could have gone to like Punta
Oh,
Cana and this place just as much. So yeah, and
you can spend money, anywhere you are. You can also save money
yeah,
and like it's amazing if you get the deals you can get on a cruise, really.
yeah.
So
So and they're not doing on a cruise.
they're a lot of fun because you just unpack once.
Yeah.
You have all the food there. We took our grandkids up to Alaska this year on a cruise. And it was a really great way to travel because they all like different foods and they're hungry at different times. When you're traveling in a group like that, it's really great. And you just unpack once. So it's not like every day you're going to a new location. You're like, oh no, I left my phone charger. Oh, I left my shirt. It's like, that's just the first day and the last day. It's a really great way, I think, for families to travel, and especially people
Mhm.
of different ages. And if like you're traveling with someone who gets tired or whatever, and the kid wants to take a nap, fine. They're not going to be lost. They'll just be on the ship, and you just see them later. It's a really flexible way. Yeah,
Yeah. I know.
pardon me.
My my wife and nieces, nephews, and aunts and uncle aunts, all women. They went on a QVC
Oh
cruise.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well,
but that was for a week.
a week. Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah, they
I
had
bet they
fun.
did. Yeah. Hmm.
So Sharon's there right now with my disease now and balance and stuff. I probably end up getting sick anyway. So
Oh, it's pretty. Our son-in-law was very afraid to go because he gets seasick very well. I mean, very well, he gets seasick very easily. And not just seasick, but he gets
yeah.
car. I get car sick really easily, but I don't get sick at sea. It's different for some reason. It has to be
Well,
pretty rough.
I know a problem with before. I go out and boat and stuff. When I just got fishing with my dad,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I never
Oh,
had
see,
fun
you'd be
then.
fine on
But
a cruise ship. Those little fishing boats are way more bumpy than a cruise ship. Oh,
um,
okay. So Kenneth, I really wish I could go to Italy,
and
but
then
I think they're wheelchair friendly. Yeah, I don't think they are, Kenneth. Boy, we'd sure love to have you. It'd be so fun. Yeah, they're it's not as accessible, that's for sure. Cruise ships are very accessible. They do what they can, but the
yeah.
ports you go to are going to vary. That's for sure. Yeah, I wish you could come on the Italy trip. It would be so fun.
Well, they could always attach me to a walker and they can use one of their freight lifts, pick you up and put me on its back.
They do a lot on the ships. They really do. I've been on ships where they had well, they always have a thing to help accessibility. People can go in and out of the pool if they have a wheelchair and
Mhm.
or a hot tub. And so, yeah. And one cruise line we were on did a thing where if you were someone who needed some sort of caregiver, I thought this was really cool. Your caregiver could come along for free. So you just paid for your cruise ticket,
Oh,
and then your
okay.
your
Yeah.
caregiver could come along. So I thought that was pretty neat. Not every ship does that, but that was an Italian one. But they're all different. Um, it's yeah,
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
yeah. I thought so.
Uh, they do different cruise lines. They just
Oh
stick
no,
to
we
one.
we just look for where it's going and the price. My husband does all that.
Uh,
He does all the while I'm writing books and stuff, he digs and digs and looks for the good deals.
uh,
And we really like Costa, which is an Italian one, because
oh, yeah.
pardon me. One reason we like it is it really is like you're in a foreign country all the time, even when you're at sea, because they speak Italian is the first language on the ship, but they all know English pretty much. And anyway, it's just of course, great Italian food, just a different cultural experience. You get a lot of people from other countries. That's how we met our friends from Romania. They didn't speak English, and I didn't know any Romanian. I can now say "Bună ziua," "Ce mai faci," "Puftă bună," whatever else. I could say a few things because I learned every night at dinner. I would learn a little bit more, and then I tried to learn a little bit more before we visited them. And then when we were there for 10 days, it was a crash course because they were like, "Come on, you be the." I was kind of like the interpreter, so which was a blast because I love learning other languages. It's attempting to anyway, or playing around with them. It's really fun. Oh, hey, there's Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for showing. How are you? Great to see you.
Hi, Stanley. Do you ever use Google Translate?
Yes, we do use Google Translate. I try to figure out a little bit without it, and then but we use it
Yeah,
too, and then I
yeah.
learned that I do screen grabs and then look at them later to learn what they are. You know, Google Translate is not very helpful if you want to try and speak Hindi because they have a different alphabet.
Oh,
If they have the same alphabet, like Indonesian, I can learn a bit of Indonesian from Google Translate. But like when I try and I ask, if I meet someone from India and I realize they're speaking Hindi, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can talk to them. How do I say this? So I have to learn Hindi by just listening to them. So like I can say like good morning, I think, and thank you. I could learn a little bit more like Indonesian. I can say like good morning, how are you in Indonesian and Tagalog, which is Filipino, and yeah, because there's always a lot of Filipino and Indonesian people working on the ships. So I just if I smile and they seem friendly, I'll just go back to the same person and I'll start saying like magandang umaga, like good morning if they're from the Philippines, or like I love how they say thank you in some different countries. Like, so when someone from Indonesia, if you want to say thank you, you go terima kasih, and then when they say you're welcome, they say sama sama, which I think is so cute, sama sama. And then when you ask, if you ask someone from the Philippines, you say, kamusta ka? How are you? Kamusta ka? They go mabuti, which I think is really cute too. Mabuti sounds, I don't know. Some of them are very cute. It's fun to learn. Oh, Sandy, saying hello to you.
hey,
Do you folks know each other? You know Sandy. Sandy's great. Hi. Well, now we got a few more people in here. That's good.
yeah, yeah. After the next picture, I gotta take
Oh, you got another picture?
a joint
Sure.
here. Yeah.
Okay, this was something I saw on the island of Mauritius. Just on the off the east coast of Africa. You see Madagascar, which looks pretty small, right? Well, you go a little farther east, and there's this tiny little dot there. There's an island of Mauritius, and it is the former home of the dodo bird. But the European sailors came to the island. I think not the Filipinos, the Portuguese, and the Portuguese sailors, Dutch, British, and French, and more came. I
Mhm.
mean, there were no indigenous people there, but there's so many cultural layers in this little island. And this is the only place in the world that I have seen a phoenix on a headstone. I mean, I've seen a lot of headstones. I've been all around the world, like a lot. And so it's so strange to me that this was the first and only time that I've seen a phoenix on a headstone, because it's a phoenix rising from the ashes. It just seems like such a obvious symbol to have for resurrection. So there you go. I just think that's really interesting. This island of Mauritius was pretty interesting too, because when we walked in the cemetery gate, like 6 or 7 dogs at least came and were following us. Like as soon as we were waiting at the cemetery gate for a minute, all of a sudden all these dogs started coming, and it was making me a little uneasy because they were looking at us. And our guide explained that, yeah, they're hoping that we're going to leave like a witchcraft, like voodoo. He called it voodoo. It was the local, witchcraft offerings, which we did see the remnants of. If they leave a chicken there, they don't last long because the dogs are gonna eat it. And so the dogs were all being a little hopeful, like, oh yeah, maybe maybe you're gonna bring a little something something for us to eat. Oh, she goes, I know him now. Great to see you too. We hope you're feeling better. That is very interesting. Well, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I just have what they call, just a lingering little bit of cough when I talk. So we're feeling much better. We had
Yeah.
COVID, Larry and I did last week, so we're doing much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the island of Mauritius was really fascinating. It's this dense jungle, um, just so unique, and that was one of the hottest places I think I've been. I really needed. I didn't have a parasol with me. I was melting. I got a bunch of sunscreen in my eyes. I don't know if you've ever done that. It
Yeah.
stings. I was wearing sunscreen, but it got in my eyes, and my eyes got all swollen up. And then, ugh, it was kind of miserable in that regard. But I was loving everything we were seeing, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, it was a really great, really fascinating place. I must say, a lot of history there. Yeah, we got Northern California in the house now. Northern
Yay.
California. Whoop, whoop.
Woo.
Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal. Whoop, whoop. And we got Colorado. Woohoo. A little bit of Texas right here. And we're talking
Ohio.
Ohio. And we're talking about the Mauritius. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. So on the left, we have a monument to some Civil War soldiers who were wrongfully ambushed by a rogue Confederate um, named Duff. And when Texas seceded from the Union, they were supposed to have a month to leave Texas peaceably. So a group of about 40 men were just slowly making their way along. Like they were stopping and watering their horses, they weren't rushing. And one morning, they got ambushed by that rogue Confederate dude, and he killed all but 7 or 8 of them. I think he killed like 23 or yeah, I think 17 got away. So I think he killed like 23 of them, he and his men, right at dawn in the river there in the Nueces River. So they call it the Nueces River Massacre. And so I was
Mhm.
reading about this. I was writing about this after the Civil War. Some of these were people who had come from Germany and Switzerland, and they had just pledged their allegiance to the Union. So they didn't want to secede. Plus, they didn't believe in slavery. So they were really like, no, we need to fight for the Union. But they got wrongfully slaughtered. A bunch of them did. Well, I found out that I was related to them, some of the survivors, where I
Wow.
didn't know that when I was researching it. So I need to do a little more like actual genealogy now and find out what the story is there. And then that thing on the right, that's called Dead Man's Hole. If people, you can read it on there. And that same nasty guy, Duff, and some other people, like, let's say your husband was gone to fight for the Confederacy or the Union or whatever, was just not home. He might show up and try and harass you. His men showed up and were harassing some of my relatives, and they threw hot oil on him at one point to get rid of him.
Oh,
Because they were saying like, "Why don't you marry us? Your men are dead," blah 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 blah. But if they would try to get people's farms from them, they would accuse them of being of Yankee sympathizers or whatever, and they would have a trial, but not a very official one, and then they would throw them down their bodies into this cave. It's called Dead Man's Hole, and so some of my relatives were harassed and maybe even thrown down there as well. So anyway, yeah, that's really quite the thing. I didn't know that when I was visiting it. I just thought, oh, let's go see what Dead Man's Hole is. I thought it was just a colorful name. I didn't realize that it was really a hole where they threw men down, and they've since covered it. So even if you fell down there, it's a cave. So you can't. It was just a convenient place to throw people, but you can't do that anymore. But I mean, talk about wow,
I guess not.
pretty horrible. Yeah, that place must be haunted, huh? It's pretty horrific. Pretty horrific.
I think there's go there to go some and
Hmm.
shoot at it there.
Hmm.
I guess. Or some.
Yeah.
All right. This next one
Oh
here.
yeah.
So that I like this one.
I know. So this is the grave of a man who was coming through town in Corsicana, and he not only was he a tightrope walker, but he would sell um, cast iron stoves, and he would go from town to town. And the way he would get your attention in the 1880s when he came to your town is that he would look for a tall building, like a one-story building, whatever they had, one or two-story building. He'd string a rope between the two buildings on Main Street, and then he would put a
Mm-hmm.
cast iron stove on his back, climb up there, and he would do a tightrope walk across. And he only had one leg. He was a one-legged tightrope walker. He had a peg leg that had like a little notch to go over the rope. And so anyway, he fell to his death, and the locals didn't know his name because all he had was a stage name. And back then people didn't. I mean, it was a lot harder to identify people when mysterious people died in your town. So they just gave him this stone that says rope walker. And for over 100 years, I mean, almost, yeah, over 100 years, they've been trying to figure out who he is. And I did some newspaper research, and I figured out his name, Joseph Berg, because he had fallen before, and he had the same stage name. And I read all these interviews with him in the hospital, and he sounded like such a character. I mean, what a crazy guy. But yeah, it's what a story too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really funny. Really funny.
Kind of reminds me of one thing. Makes Mark says as a one-legged man at ass kicking contest.
It's funny, I have a
Yeah.
few in my books. I have a few one-legged men story because there was a one-legged hobo who fell off a train
Oh,
down in Marlin, Texas, and he fell off the train, and his dog jumped off the train, and somehow he lost his other leg by jumping off the train. So now he didn't have any legs, and he didn't live. And they got his name, I think, but they before he died. And anyway, his dog died of heartbreak, they said, like after the master died. But since they didn't know his name, so they did what they used to do in the 1800s and so on, and before people had ID. Yeah, rope walker. Isn't it a fascinating story, Sandy? And the funny thing was, I was so happy. I sent the local newspaper my findings that figured out his name, and I got the angriest email from the local historian who told me, "You cannot possibly be right." She was just yelling at me. It was like all caps about how horrible I was, and I'm like, "What?" Anyway, it was kind of funny. I thought she'd be happy that I had found it out. Some people just get very possessive about their little slice of history. But anyway, so
right.
this one,
Yeah.
listen to this guy. So this guy fell off. They didn't know his name. He died. And like I said, his dog died of heartbreak. So what they did was they embalmed him with a lot of embalming fluid. And then they put it in, a lot of times the local furniture store was also the local coffin maker and then kind of also the local morgue. So they put a whole bunch of embalming fluid in him, sat him in the window next with his embalmed dog sitting next to him, and hoped that someone would pass by and recognize him. And but this is what they used to do. When people, I love telling this when I give a talk because people gasp and like that is crazy. I mean, no one would do that today, but we just don't have to do that today. It's much easier to identify someone. So anyway, his sister came by once and identified him, and he sat for quite a while in that front window. And she said, "Oh, I'll come back tomorrow and pay for his funeral." Well, she never showed up. So they finally sold his body to a sideshow, and he toured the country as a mummy. It's so crazy. So anyway, the guy who wrote the song "Bye Bye Miss American Pie," that whole thing, Don McLean. He wrote a song about this guy, and so that he used the proceeds to give him a headstone. It's a really crazy. I mean, there's even more to the story, but I won't even go into it. It's really crazy. But another one-legged person story.
Right. Right. Was the thing back in your book wasn't it so much to the leg and buried it?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that in your book?
yeah, I do, I have leg burials, I do mention that in my book. Yeah, I don't know if I gave you pictures of that. When people would have their arms or legs amputated, back in the 1800s and before that, if they had the money, they would pay for it to be buried. And when we hear about this, a lot of times people think they're just joking, but no, this was, I mean, they put money into this. If they would get a nice headstone, they genuinely would have all their parts buried because they're hoping that on resurrection, when on Judgment Day, they'll have all their parts. So yeah, it is kind of crazy, but yeah, over a town over near me, there's a couple of there's an arm for a 13-year-old boy who had his arm amputated when he fell out of a pecan tree. There's another arm that I know of not that far from me, and I know of legs too they're buried. So there you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. Here we go on.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty good, isn't it? So this was
Uh,
when Larry and I were in Romania, and we were at Bran Castle, Dracula's castle, and it was just so much fun. I purposely I knew we were going to go there, so I brought our vampire fangs with us. And if you put them in with denture cream, they're these specific ones that are just fangs. They stay. They really stick. And the funny thing is, they're really comfortable. They're kind of hard to eat with. I had to take mine out to eat, but then I put them back in to because we went to breakfast and we startled our friends who were Romanian. You know, I said "Bună ziua, ce mai faci?" And I smile at her, and they're like, "Oh my god!" They just burst out laughing. And so, yeah, so we wore these when we were going through. Thanks, Sandy. I'm glad you're finding it interesting. Um, when we wore these when we went through the Bran Castle, and like I said, they were so comfortable, I forgot I had them on. And at one point, I look over at this little girl and I smile at her, and she's like, "Ah!" and just goes running and hides behind her mom. I'm like, "What is wrong?" And the same thing happened to Larry. He was like in the men's room, I think, and he smiled at a little boy, and the little boy ran screaming. And we both, took us a few seconds to realize, oh yeah, we've got fangs in right now. Right? That denture cream just made them so comfy. We just forgot we had them, and it was fun. It was really fun to learn about Romanian legends and things like that when we were there. I like Romania a lot. It's a beautiful country. I would love to go back.
I'd like to sound like fun.
Oh yeah, here we go. Just wanted to show some of the places I've been around the world. There on the left, that's in Singapore. There's one of my favorite burial grounds there is called Bukit Brown, and it is Malaysian jungle. And I've seen wild boar, all sorts of birds, snakes. You see a lot of monkeys. They'll come down, uh, and which can be a little intimidating, but they just want to eat. Sometimes the Chinese people on certain times of year they'll leave bowls of rice and other things out at their ancestors' grave. But look at the size of that leaf. I mean, it was just dense jungle in some places.
Wow.
Then on the right was dense in a different way. Oh, and I was going to say one thing about Bukit Brown is it's a wildlife corridor, so it helps with like orangutans and different creatures that migrate or need to move as creatures do throughout the seasons. It's a this great big cemetery burial ground actually helps preserve. It helps preserve biodiversity. It really helps ecologically. Then the one on the right, that's Falmouth in Cornwall in England. And that's another one where the cemetery keepers are very aware of how they can support nature. So they have a sign there that explains when you go in, it explains that they support 50 species of solitary bee. I think something like 11 species of endangered butterfly. There's a section, what they do is they
Wow.
time the mowing. So they let certain things, certain weeds grow and go to seed because then that helps support things like they actually let nettles grow in a certain area because there's an endangered butterfly that can only feed on nettles.
Mhm.
And so it's really important, I think, and I'm glad that they have a sign there telling people why certain areas look quote unquote messy because sometimes people get uptight and they think that cemeteries should all look like a golf course, like a putting green. And I think they're really missing the point when they do that, because I think a big part of a cemetery is to help you have interface with nature and to see the passing of the seasons and see all the things, all the nature that happens and all the cycles of nature. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's important to visit cemeteries and see and experience that. Oh, who's this? Michael Walker. Hi, do you love your book? Love the vampire photo. Glad you do. Hi, so much. Thank you for coming.
And thanks, Michael.
Michael wrote a really great book, the Aurora Revelations. I love it. I don't have it on me. All my books are in the other corner. Huh? I almost wore your Nerd Legion button too. I should have. Oh well. Yeah, he's great. Well, thank you for coming.
Hey,
Yes.
Julie, back on that tree on the right hand side. Do you know what kind of tree that is?
On the right hand side?
Like the stop the grace, the tree back
The
there.
tree back there? It might be a yew tree, Y-E-W, a yew tree.
It's a weird looking.
Yeah, I think it might be a yew. They have a lot of yews, Y-E-W-U trees in England, and that might a lot of yews, a lot of kind of variations of cedars, a lot of cypress. The yews you get a lot because there was one king who made every churchyard grow a yew tree, and they're an evergreen, so they have that kind of symbolism of eternal life, but also yew trees were really good. The wood was good for creating a long bow. So for warfare, it was kind of handy if the king mandated that all these churchyards had to grow yew trees, and that helped made sure there'd be a supply of yew trees for longbows. But also sometimes people would, when they moved to a new area, they would just, before the church was built, they would just start worshiping around a big local tree, which I think is pretty cool. That even happens in my little town here, Azle, Texas. There's like some oak trees, and I think people started looking for a big oak, and I love how people, I think trees are pretty sacred anyway, and oftentimes I like how they incorporate them into their worship like that. And I've seen some amazing um, sacred trees around the world, like one I saw in Madagascar, which was really cool. Anyway, I'm rambling. Trees though,
or round one.
cypress trees. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things about trees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is great. This is such an unusual grave marker. Really, I've traveled the world, and this is one of the most unusual I have seen. Very creative. Those are it's just
Again.
two. Oh no,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's just two wrought iron posts, and they're meant to look like a piece of wood, uh, and it's meant to look like a tree branch. And it also has carved to have ivy around it, and ivy stands for eternal friendship. It's something that clings to you in the best possible way. And then there's a chain going between these two branches, which is weird. And so there's no birth dates, no death dates, no names, just this. And it took a while to figure out, I had to talk to the local historians, and they said that these two men they were known around town as being bad and dangerous men. That's what the local newspaper had called them. And no one would really be their friend. So they were kind of had to be friends with each other. They had a falling out and shot each other, like killed each other. And so the locals buried them in the same plot. The rumor has it that their coffins are chained together, but they then put this very unusual monument on there, and I've never seen anything like it. And like I said, I have seen a lot of cemeteries. This I find one of the most unusual and really creative. Something about the chain between them kind of gives me shades of Jacob Marley from Dickens' A Christmas Carol or something, but it is really like I call them the East Texas frenemies, because they were friends, but they were really pretty much frenemies there at the end when they ended up killing each other. But they had both served time for murder. They were pretty rough and tumble guys. Nobody else in town would be their friend. And what do you know? That's what happened. I really love that town. That's in Jefferson, Texas. Amazing historic town. Really fascinating. It's a town where Steven Spielberg saw a ghost, in fact. It's like a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Yeah, I could tell.
yeah, I think I've been another one here.
Oh, another picture? Okay. We're doing show and tell here. What do you say? Oh, okay. Now we're back on the isle.
I'll play this
Okay, we're
one.
back on the island of Mauritius again. So when you see
Oh,
that's
sorry.
okay. When you see the skull and crossbones like this, that's a classic memento mori image. And memento mori is just Latin for remember you must die or remember your death. And it was you see this on the east coast of America and older cemeteries like Puritans featured a lot of
Mhm.
skull and crossbones. You probably have some in Ohio, and a lot of times they will actually have the phrase "memento mori" underneath them. So we saw some of
Mhm.
these on the Isle of Mauritius, but you see how it looks like it's wet or there's a stain on it. That is
Yeah.
it was so freaking hot on the Isle of Mauritius. What that is leftover candles. It was so hot that the candles melted all over and make these greasy smears on the memento mori. And what happens is, according to our guide, people come and they come at night and they will do these ceremonies there. They will look for a grave that has a skull and crossbone, and they will do some sort of witchcrafty, voodoo. He called it voodoo, which is, I mean, there's a lot of different African religions, and I'm not an expert in them. I know there's Santeria and things like that, and so I don't really know exactly what it was, but we did see signs in the local Creole that he translated and says, "Hey, it's illegal to practice witchcraft here." And then right below it, we saw it. He goes, "And here's an offering, a bundle of like coconut and flour, and then chicken bones that were gone." So, long story short, people don't really understand what modern people don't understand what these skull and crossbones are meant, and they take them as something spooky, so they go there to do their witchcraft. Kind of crazy. Yeah.
God. So, sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're not related to Rope Walker? Well, oh, okay. Well, good to know. That's funny.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Rope Walker.
There's a couple that I've poured out from.
Oh, all right. That one on the left is really cool. It's like a Gorgon's head, like Medusa, and he's wrestling with a propeller. And he was one of the first pilots in Italy, and he lost his life. I forget the story about how he lost his life, but that's such a dramatic sculpture. I mean, this was in Milan that I saw that one, and the sculptures in Italian cemeteries are just off the charts amazing. They really are open air museums. And I think they're much more impactful when you see this gorgeous sculptures out in nature. I just think it has a rather most of the time when we view art, we're inside a building and everything's been very carefully protected. But when you're outside and you're seeing these marvelous pieces of art just exposed to the elements, and sometimes you can even tell that the elements and time have had some interplay with them. Like the lady on the right there, she's very covered in dust. She's in a bit of a covered area. She's in Genoa, but if you look closely, you can see the sculptor included a teardrop on her face. That cloth that she has around herself, that would actually have been her own cloth that was modeled after, maybe for her dowry, maybe something she had made herself. But yeah, really amazing. Like I said, that was that cemetery where I kept thinking I was seeing real people. I mean, it was really amazing. That's the one that Ernest Hemingway and Mark Twain both loved. The one Staiano in Genoa, really fantastic. What does it say? Oh yeah. I also hope you can make it out to Brooklyn. Yes, next time I'm in New York, I really would love to go to Greenwood Cemetery with Michael. Oh, that would be
Yeah.
great. We should. It's a date. We'll do it. That would be so fun. I bet he knows his way around. Yeah, I would love that. That would be really great. Last
Cool.
time I was there, I didn't get to. We were showing our Romanian friends around, and we just had a couple days there, and I saw a couple cemeteries, but not like I would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about cemeteries being for the living. Oh, I know. Sandy just says so realistic. They are. I tell you, you know, yeah, the quality of sculpture that you see. If you want to be a sculptor, you need to go to Italy. There's just no two ways about it. I mean, yeah, the quality of sculptures there are just phenomenal and really worth seeing. And I'll be seeing more this fall. I can hardly wait. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is one of the funnest cemeteries I've been to in Romania. It's called the Mary Cemetery, and it's up in northwest corner of Romania. In fact, it was only about less than a kilometer from the Ukraine border, which was a little, made me a little nervous and was a little somber to think about because we did see some military convoys going by. Um, but this little village of Sapunsa, a man in the 1930s, Ioan Petraș, began creating these unique crosses. And that blue that you see on them is a very specific blue. It's now known as Sapunsa blue. And what he does, or what he did back in the 30s, and now his apprentice is carrying on his tradition, is when it's a small village, maybe 2,000 or less people. So when you live in a small town, if you've ever lived in a small town, everyone kind of knows each other's business. So it was kind of like that for him. So the first one of these crosses he just made sort of a playful, almost a cartoonesque painting of the person on it. And then he wrote a little for their epitaph. He wrote a little poem that poked fun at them a little bit. And the only one that I can really remember right now, I mean, some of them are kind of serious, but one of them, the only one I can really think of right now is it's talking about a man, and it says he loved horses. And one thing he also loved very much was to go to a bar and to sit at a table next to someone else's wife, which is kind of gossipy and funny. And it's something you can only say if you really knew the guy. And so when we were there with our friends, they were laughing about some of them because they are not only are they in Romanian, but they were also in the local Sapunsa dialect. So I couldn't just put it through Google Translate and really get an accurate assessment. But our friends, Constantine and Maria, could point them out and say, "Oh my gosh, look at this one, and this is what they're saying." And they would, playfully just point out the people's foibles and their little quirks, and which is just something to do. It's like a playful way. It's like I say, tombstones with punchlines. It was a lot of fun to see. Really great and unique.
Yeah, got Egypt.
Oh, okay. This is one of
This
Yeah,
cat.
I have to say this is one of my favorite pictures that I've ever been lucky enough to take. Our friends, when we were in Egypt, our friends took us to a restaurant where we could see the pyramids, and they do a sound and light show, which my husband had. It's the exact same show that they've had for years. My husband has been to Egypt many times when he was growing up. He was so lucky, and so for him, it was a little bit of nostalgia to see this sound and light show. And for me, it was just cool to see. And we ate this marvelous Egyptian food, which I really love. And while we were sitting there, this cat jumped up and just sort of posed. And I luckily I got the photo right away. And it was just kind of like, Bastet, the cat goddess, just showed up briefly. It was really a special moment. And another thing we did when we were in Egypt was we visited Cairo's City of the Dead, which is necropolises of cemeteries that date back to like the year, 700 or something like that. I mean, really ancient. And they have, over the centuries, different people have come and built these mausoleums. Like you'll see a mausoleum that looks like it should be a library. We got to go inside this one. It's a when we think of a mausoleum in an American sense, it's just going to be big enough to put some caskets. Um, but
Right.
in the City of the Dead, they made them. Some of them, I think, from the 1100s, the Mamelukes created some of these mausoleums that were actually they were on the way to Mecca, so they knew people would be going along on the way to Mecca, and they were almost like an Airbnb. People could come and like rent apartments and stay there. They had schools in them. They have churches inside them. So it's a lot more than just a place for a dead body, which is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So all these, it's about 4 miles worth of cemeteries that have just grown and grown and grown over the centuries, right? But people also live in between spaces, have built their own little houses, or else maybe they're living in an old tomb, and they have so when you're walking along, we bought like fresh bread. Here we are in a cemetery, and we bought fresh bread. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, this is like one of my favorite photos I think I've ever taken, frankly. But but yeah, it was amazing. There was a man who did blue glass from old bottles and things like recycled bottles. And so I bought a little string of stars he had made, and it was just amazing, kind of all this history. One of the weirdest sights to me was we were walking up an alley, and there was this huge, about the size of a couch, an alabaster bathtub, and it was just sort of jutting out. No one used it as a bathtub. It probably royalty bathed in it at one point, hundreds of years ago. Who knows? And yet now here it is. It's too heavy to move. Everyone just kind of goes by it. It's like in the road partly, in this little alley. And it was just this weird juxtaposition of modern life, history, some forgotten history, probably some royalty or something. It's just that Egypt's really amazing place and really fascinating in such a way. I mean, it's such ancient. It's hard to wrap your mind around about how ancient Egypt is, but think about even who we call the ancient Greeks. They used to talk about ancient Egypt. Egypt had already been around so long, so it's like you think about it. It's to me, it's a mind blowing and fascinating, and the influence of different belief systems and how they've trickled through down to modern times. It's really fun to see. Also, if you love cats like I do, you don't need to go to a cat cafe when you are in Egypt. There are cats everywhere. Just go to a cafe and there's gonna be cats, and that's that. But I go to Penang. There's a cat cafe I really like to go to because they've got air conditioning, they got cats, and they've got curry and really good coffee.
Hey,
But
Tori, yeah, a
yeah,
cafe,
cat cafe.
cafe.
You go there, and if you buy food or coffee, you can pet the cats. But in Egypt, who cares? There's they would never have a cat cafe there because every place you go is already a cat cafe. It's really an
Yeah,
amazing place. It was incredible. Geez, I would love to go back.
yeah,
Oh,
for
Sandy, you and
sure.
cats, LOL. Well, I know my cat, she
Um,
was sitting up here, but now she's decided to move and now she's off screen. I was hoping she would be on screen with, oh, she's looking at me now like, what? She's always around whenever I
yeah,
do an interview. She's always got to be nearby, and at least she's not madly running back and forth.
well,
Hmm?
is at your feet?
She's at my feet now. Yeah, kind of.
Pick her up,
Let
go.
me see if I can show her.
You early
Let me
series.
see. Hi, kitty boof. Ah, hi, girl. Hi, girl. Here she is. Let me see.
Good
Say
girl.
hi. Say hi to everybody. She's like, what is up? Yeah, she doesn't. Oops. What you doing there? Oh,
She,
let me, one thing I can show you. Oh, I wish everybody here could come to the party this Friday, because we made check out these cookies. It's kind of hard to see, but can you see it?
oh, it must be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tombstone shaped cookie with a. We make really good cookies. Larry and I make really good cookies. We used to make these Christmas cookies. They're tasty. We got a really good recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And
That cookie shortbread in
it's
it,
it's
or
a sugar cookie, and they're so tasty. I know. And these little frosting sheets. This lady in Colorado, in fact, she has a printer. Yeah, she has a printer and with edible ink, and these frosting sheets. And so I'm going to tell all my friends who write books, like, they've got to do, you know, we were trying to, I don't know, it's just a fun thing. It's just a fun little thing. So, yeah. This is for Italy. What is the animal? Cats or what? What do you mean? Oh, are there cat? We will be seeing some cats in Italy. There's a, and I need to do. Haven't done all my homework yet. I'm going to be doing that the next couple weeks. But I think there is a spot. I know in Rome there is a spot where there's a cat sanctuary, and that you can see. And but I think we will also be seeing some at some of the Etruscan tombs that we'll be visiting. I don't know too much, but yeah, Italians do seem to like their cats as well. Gatti, yeah. I've seen people feeding stray dogs and cats old spaghetti. I remember one time when I was in Italy. Well, why not? Pardon me. Yeah, how we doing? We got a few more people. That's good. A few more people showed up. I know. The cookies are delicious, I must say. Yes. We'll just have to be making more of them. They really are. They're very yummy. We've got our cookie recipe down. We do have a little cookie sweatshop sometimes in the holidays. We make so many of those cookies. Everybody loves them. But yeah, I don't know if who hasn't seen yet, but I mean, I do have both paperbacks here for people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reading companion, which ended up being more than a little 10-page guide that I've had so much fun. Yeah. I don't know. Should we go ahead and do the drawing? Do we have enough people to do the drawing? Okay, I think we're going to be winding down the party. Everybody.
Yeah, I think there's 4. I think there's 4.
Oh, 4? Okay. So, it's for US.
There was 2
US, but I can give. I will. Gisela, I'll just be sending her something anyway. I was planning to send her something anyway because she's in the book. I got to move this. Cat's trying to eat it. But for the rest of you, here's what we're going to do: a drawing, and here's what you win. I have a little swag package, so you get a paperback, and then you get you get the companion guide, and this is the same angel. And then I have some stickers, just some fun little sticker things. And then this is a card deck, which came out kind of cool. I got a few of these. I just thought this was, who gets cards made? I just thought it ended up looking pretty cool. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. Card deck. It would have been neat if I could have had it be an Italian card deck, but it's a regular card deck. It's too cool. It had some other little things, and I'll be putting together like a little. I'll send a cookie to whoever, and this is like a little keychain with my essentially my business card on it, and just fun little bits and bobs. I'll just put together like a little around the world, and and one more thing is probably this pillowcase. This is a skull. A skull pillowcase. I mean, who doesn't love a skull pillowcase? A little bit of bling. So there you go. Some fun things. And I want to thank everyone for coming. And I wish you all could come to Texas. Of course, if any of you do ever come to Texas, please let me know. We could go around to some of the wonderful burial grounds we have around here. I know, book swag, woohoo! And so
you have to come and visit me, Ohio.
I would love to.
Because we've got tons of cemeteries up here.
I know.
Tons.
Maybe there'll be a Association of Gravestone Studies conference nearby, and I can pop by when they're from.
Yeah,
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'll just share a screen
Okay.
here.
Woohoo.
I think I got it written, right? Sandy, Michael.
Yeah.
I
can't send this stuff internationally, but I can. Hopefully, we'll just see. I can send her something anyway, which I plan to, but I don't think I can get.
Okay.
Anyway. Here we go.
Right.
Michael! Woohoo! And everybody needs to read Michael's book. I don't know if he has a link to his book. It's really good, and it features one of the really cool. Do I have it? Oh, I don't have it here. I just thought since it's Michael, I just thought of something else I'm going to put in there to surprise you with that you're going to like, just for you. A little bit of a Aurora cemetery swag, the space alien grave. Woohoo! Got our winner. I may even already have your address, Michael, I think. I'll be sending everything out. Sandy, you're on my Patreon, so you're getting stuff anyway. So, yeah, and Gisela, you're in the book, so you're getting stuff anyway. Everyone's a winner. I feel like I'm like Oprah, and you get a car, and you get a car. Not quite. I know. I would love to have tea in your cemetery, Kenneth. I was just talking to Jenny. Jenny and Diane from Ordinary Extraordinary Cemetery podcast. We mentioned you, in fact, when I was on the show. And I'm so jealous that Jenny has been able to go and have tea with you in person. But hey. Yeah. Well, once again.
Kenneth, do you want to put your book title, chat?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Tell Michael to put his book title. If I can find it, let's see. Maybe I can find it on Amazon real quick. Amazon. Da-da-da-da. It's a really great book. Like if you like the X-Files or I don't know. I really, it's one of those books where you just want to hang out with the people in the book, Let's see. Michael. Oh, I don't know how to put something in there. How do I put something in there? I don't know how to enter the chat.
Oh.
Well, maybe Michael can put something in there because I don't know where.
Might work. If you're
I found the link, but I don't know how to. I'm afraid if I hit too many buttons, I'm just going to hang up on everything. Thank you, Gisela.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how to put Michael's book. It's called The Aurora Revelations, and it's a really great book. I'll just I can share it on my. I don't know how to. I don't see where to. Oh no, that says leave. I don't want to do that. No, I don't know. It doesn't. Maybe because it doesn't give me the guest option to just chat. I don't know.
What's the name of it?
The Aurora Revelations. The Aurora Revelations, a paranormal mystery novel. Really a page turner. I loved it. And it has one of my photos in it because that's how I met. He asked if he could use a picture of the Aurora Cemetery gate. And it's there we go. Yeah, you can put the link in. Maybe. Yeah, it's really worth. Oh, there we go.
Revelation. Right? Revelation.
Yep. Yeah. So people check out Michael's book. Check out Michael's book. It's really great. Maybe we'll see each other at some sort of book event sometime too, Michael. That would be fun.
Yeah, cool for guys.
They used to do an Aurora. They did once. They had an Aurora alien like cemetery conference, and it was great. It was so well attended. Travis Walton was there from Fire in the Sky and Jim Mars and everything. It was wonderful. But then this lady who was a local embezzled a bunch of money from Aurora. It's only got like 400 people living in the town or whatever. And so they haven't had another one of these, and it's nobody's fault except for this lady who screwed everything up for the rest of us. So sad to say. Maybe they'll get it all worked out and we'll get to have another conference again because it was a lot of fun. And this has been fun, everybody. A small, cozy little party. I appreciate everybody coming out. And stay in touch. I wish I could. Thanks for celebrating with me. I wish y'all could come to my party on Friday, but at least we got to see you all here, which is great.
take all pictures. I know you will.
Oh yeah, let me take a picture here. Oh, I will take lots of pictures. Yeah, you know
Oh,
me.
sure, yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little picture of our a screen grab of our. Ah!
Yep.
There we go. I don't have the cat in the picture, sadly.
Oh,
You know, she's being
right.
antisocial.
Cool. All right, Tui. It's also how you on night, and it's my
Yeah,
fifth
it's
how
great.
you on again. Our third time.
Third time's
It's
a charm. I went third time. What is wrong with me? Math is not my strong point, apparently.
right. That's his heart.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nice
Yeah.
to see you, Sandy. Thanks for coming. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks,
I can't think of
Gisela.
Michael.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, Jella. Nice seeing you.
Hope to see you all in a cemetery near me. Bye, Kenneth. Thank you for coming.
Well, wrap it
And
up
you too.
here.
So thank you, Scott, for hosting the party.
Oh, definitely. I will get back on again and see if come back next year.
Sounds
That's
good.
all your traveling you get to do. I'm
Yes, and
so
then I'll.
jealous.
I'm jealous too of me. I mean, I can't
Right.
believe I'm living. I'm pinching myself.
I lived through Tui.
I do my best to take everyone along with me. That's what I do.
Yeah,
I try to take
I
everyone
know.
along with me. More adventures to be had.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my. Okay. Well, good day, everybody. Thanks again for coming.
Yeah.
And the next time, happy haunting,
Yeah.
everybody.
Happy haunting.